Strange Things in Strangerville, Chapter 15. The Darkness Awakens. Ramona was 16 and Virgil was 19 in 1983. Ramona comes to say that she is pregnant and she is 4 weeks along. Virgil decides to do the right thing and marry her. So within a week, they are married. A small wedding. No one approved of the decision to marry young or to have a child out of wedlock, so they decided to be married. A month before the delivery of the birth, Ramona and Virgil were infected with cholera. So Virgil rushes to the hospital, not knowing if it can affect the unborn child. So he rushes to the hospital by a few seconds to spare as he started to feel lethargic and tired all of a sudden. And if he drove any longer, they would have crashed for sure. So they walk into the hospital and they explain the situation. Dr. Vlad was in and took them immediately. By the time they went to the back room, they went unconscious. And Vlad knew that she was pregnant before because Virgil told them when they arrived. So he shifted his concern to her and her unborn child. He has to make the decision to save this woman with his own blood in hopes that she will survive. Knowing he is a vampire, he's been around and seen all diseases, so he hopes his blood will combat the infection. So he draws the blood and puts it into her veins and hopes to save her. She comes to groggily and calls for her husband Virgil. She sees him across the room on a medical bed and calls him again. Dr. Vlad tells her that he is coding and needs permission to give him a blood transfusion, to which she groggily agrees, anything to save the love of her life. So they both survive the blood transfusion, but Vlad tells them that he recommends that they give birth to her child because of the cholera. There's a chance of producing a stillborn. Scared for their life of the child, she agrees to prep for birth. Dr. Vlad gets situated and begins the childbirth. As she pushes, she produces a baby girl. And when they all thought they were finished, another baby popped out, and it was also a girl. This was unheard of to see a set of babies being produced, so Dr. Vlad was very shocked, and so were the parents. They decided to name the girls Valanthia and Victoria. Valanthia is a couple minutes older than Victoria. They were born with brown hair and brown eyes. When the girls were 13 years old, Valanthia and Victoria come home from school. Victoria goes to do her homework at the table. Valanthia is enraged from her day at school as she came home an hour later from detention. She decided to take her anger out on the only available victim, which happens to be 13-year-old Victoria minding her own business, doing her homework. So Valanthia comes in and starts to beat Victoria and scratches her to the point of her bleeding badly. A few minutes later, her parents get home from work to find Victoria on the floor, and her mom rushes to her aid, only to have Valanthia claw her face, producing minimum blood due to her being alive with the awakened vampiric blood. They rushed Victoria to the hospital to see Dr. Vlad. He examines her and says that she will survive, but she and her mom will have scars for the rest of their lives. Victoria, in return, was scarred both physically and mentally over this incident. Powerless to change the past, she now works fitting into society, trying to be a human. By doing so, she hopes to support a new, honest life and finally finding pleasurable life she's never had before. Valanthia's family sat down with her to find out why she did that. She expressed that she's been having dark thoughts about blood, and when she's enraged, those thoughts come to surface and she sees red. So she explains that Victoria was easy prey and she lashed out. She said that she wouldn't have stopped if they didn't show up. Victoria from then on has fallen to any and all outbursts of Valanthia. The parents asked Dr. Vlad about this. He claims that it's very rare to have a dark vampire. It's within 2 to 3% range. So he's surprised and doesn't know the cure. So poor Victoria was raised in a home of abuse by a family that shocked them all. Her goody-goody two-shoe sister has turned to be the most vicious predator. Victoria has always been obsessed with the dark form of life, wearing a lot of black and purple. She later on in life, at the age of 18, for the 65th time, she decided to dye her hair a fun color in her eyes, because she wants to feel the difference than the home she was raised in. During this time, due to the mutation of vampiric and human blood, Victoria's eyes changed from brown to blood red. whereas her sister's hair turned from brown to red. They were suggested to move to Forgotten Hollow by Dr. Vlad because he thought it would be a better idea to keep a closer look on Valanthia. The parents agreed, so from then on out, Victoria and her parents have all lived with Valanthia's evil tendencies. How did she manage to live this far? Victoria left her high school to move to El Salvador and got a job as a scenic landscape photographer in the Sims National Geographic. She was taken in the view when a voice comes up behind her saying, "Isn't it beautiful?" She is taken aback as she thought she was alone. She turns around and smiles, then proceeds to say, "I have seen this view many times, and I'm still mesmerized by it." They both smiled and chilled out at the market, talking. He introduced himself as Cecil Leone. Time goes on. Cecil invites her to join his entourage and travels the world with him. So during the time, they travel to Solani, San Myshuno, and of course, Windingburg, where they decided to plant roots. Along the way, they gathered 2 more people, and one of them had a son. Her name was Nashay, and the other one was Princess of Shilani. They also decided to take a break from everyday life to go to a nightclub named the Arms Norwal. That is where Cecil spotted a female with long brown hair and blue eyes, sitting alone staring at her drink. He invites her over, and that was all she wrote. That moment, she's seen her life finally having meaning, because in that time she laid eyes on this woman. She knew that she would protect her no matter what. Her name was Bonnie Hallowell. She introduced them to Rain Riverblood, which made Victoria very leery. She didn't seem to trust her. One Christmas, many years later, Victoria and everyone else is hanging out at the Pride Club. She pulls Bonnie to the side and says that she's been in love with her ever since the moment they laid eyes on each other. She asked if Bonnie would go out with her sometime, to which Bonnie replied that she would consider the offer. Will love blossom between the two of them? Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Kimmy if you're new here. Today, we are doing episode 15 of the Strangerville series. If you missed last episode, Victoria comes out with the Christmas confession, stating that she's in love with Bonnie, has been forever. Victoria, modern day, she's blue hair, she has tattoos, piercings, all this stuff over the years that she's been alive. This is her sister, Valanthia. She has her red hair from the mutation. This is modern day Virgil, and this is modern day Ramona, the mom. This is her scar she got from Valanthia back as a kid. Today's episode, I think that I will take on Tyra's suggestion. Bonnie go out on a date with each of the two, both Rain and Victoria. So this episode will be Victoria and Bonnie's date. Invite her over and ask her this way. Oh, Lord. She got in a fight with her mother. She's just... Oh no, she's trying to fight Bonnie. We're gonna go where Bonnie went before by herself. Hopefully it won't be too glitchy. Now we're going to order for the table. I think she would buy her favorite drink because she pays attention to what she likes. You know, she's that person that watches. And she knows that Bonnie is a big fan of this Von Hunt Estate Melannoir. She knows this, so she's gonna buy it for her. And I think she would buy her maybe the most expensive thing on here, which would be this. But it doesn't look appetizing, so I'm gonna go with this honeycomb garden cup for both of them. And she will buy it for her because she knows she likes that drink. Apparently, Cassandra works here still. Hopefully they start flirting more. I'm not sure. I don't know how much I have to do for them to start flirting if they flirt, but time for them to get their meals. Get a picture of this before she eats it. So far, they're getting some of this stuff done. They're not saying much. Tell a dramatic story. She's like, you won't believe this. Back when I was younger, my sister was very abusive. She still is, and I'm sorry that she attacked you like she did. I lived with that my entire life. She is a very abusive person. She's terrifying. She's like, but I'll protect you, I promise. I don't think they would flirt at all, to be honest with you guys. As far as like on their own, like I might have to like instigate some more because I don't think they're gonna flirt on their own. And we'll give her a flower for, you know, a date thing. You'll give her a rose. And she gave her one back, and it says that she gave her heart. You are my heart and soul, my treasure, my today, my tomorrow, my forever, my everything. Aw. Gave it to her back. Apparently she didn't want it. Here we go again. On a date, and someone's trying to beat her up. She's literally watching this. Let's have her go home. Let's go hang out. She's asking us out on a date, and I'm not gonna tell her no. See, now they're flirting. They're complimenting each other. Let's see what else they do here. Okay. So Bonnie asked Victoria to have a steady relationship. We're gonna say no for now because I want to make sure it rains on first. But see, now they're flirting more because they're in a flirty mood, which is good. I want them to flirt more. Oh, what's this one? Be flirted with. That's good. She asked again. That's twice this episode. I say no thank you right now. But thank you. I really like that idea. So we're gonna send everyone home. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Victoria and the episode. Do you think that Bonnie and asking her out is a sign? And then next episode, we are going to be having a date with Rain to see if the stars are aligned there with them two or not. And then you guys will have the final chance to vote. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and share, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell to be notified of all my uploads. And I will see you guys later. Bye!